going back to Nas, is that he started rapping and dropping what fucking music when he was like in like junior high,
I think it was 13.
Yeah, Nas.
God
Yeah,
damn.
bro. Like, and he was spitting some raw shit, man. Like
fire.
his environment, that's what he was spitting. Like, and that to me shows like, damn, bro. Like this man had a good penmanship back in the days, and he had like he sees everything, right? I don't know. I never lived in New York, so obviously, you know, everyone has their own struggles and stuff, but man, was he in poetry? Like, was that helpful at all in school? I don't know if he was in poetry class or not, because the man can write from a young age. Like, shit was nasty. It's like he was given this, like he was born with this talent. You know what I mean? Like some people work for it, but 13 years old, dropping some fire that you got adults like banging their heads to. But I do want to drop some new music on y'all boys, man. Your boy Nas came through. Shout out to Nas. He's been in the game for a long ass time. But yeah, he dropped his album Magic. Shit, I don't know if you guys heard it. The viewers and the listeners out there, all of us four, I know we heard it. But man, Nas still got that trigger. That's all I gotta say. He still got that trigger, and it's him and Hit Boy, that collab, bro. I'm glad. I don't know who put them in the same room, but shout out to that dude. Because, you know, Nas for a while, you know, wasn't really making music like that, but this new Nas, you know, finding his pathway to our era or this era of music and still bringing and still being himself, fantastic. I fucks with that album hard.
It's incredible what Hit Boy has done in the last 10, 15 years of his career.
Yeah.
He went from a shitty rapper that used to get robbed everywhere to one of the best producers in the game. It's weird. He's like on top as far as like popular producers. He makes really good beats. I liked most of the album. I think the weakest offering is like the 4016 building. That's like the song I like the least. There's maybe one song at the end, but like as a bulk, it's like a solid offering. I think my favorite track on there has to be the one with DJ Premier. That one and I'm sorry, I'm wasting time here. There's one right before it. Let me pull this album up. Go ahead and no. Go ahead. You could talk about what you like about the album. I'll pull it up.
Yeah. So one thing about Tony said Nas stopped making music or something. Like, he's been pretty consistently making music since like 94. Like, he had one little hiatus for like 60 years. That's like the biggest gap ever between like 2012 and like 2012, 2018 or whatever. But I mean, he's been dropping an album like every 3-ish. His average is probably like 3 years he'll drop another album.
You remember he tried to drop that album, the N word, but with the hard ER? Bro, it's called Untitled now. That shit is called Nas. That shit is just called Nas. It's like one of the worst ideas he ever had.
Yeah.
I think it was cool. I don't know. I think it's interesting. Like especially the interviews around that time period and stuff where he's kind of talking about like, I don't know. You could take it a lot of ways, right? I think it's meant to be provocative. Like, you could take it as him saying a slur or a bad word or whatever. Or
it was like
it could be about making white people uncomfortable. Or it could be that like, I mean, I think that word means like a king or something. It's like a tribe in Africa, or maybe like one of the Hebrew tribes or something like that. I don't remember. But like, there's a lot of like, you know, maybe it's going back to the origin of the word, like trying to take it back and things like that. And that's when those are those years where Nas went like maybe I didn't even say those years because it was a little bit earlier too. But he's been on his going back to Africa shit since like forever, like going back to his roots and all that. Even in the movie Belly, like all he wanted to do in the movie was go to Africa. Like that was That was his whole character. He's like, I want to get up out this ghetto shit and move my ass to Africa. Like, but nah, yo, the album's great. It just sounds like a fucking classic Nas album. Like, you could put most Nas albums on and play them, and you can't really place it. Like, you could put this album in the '90s, and to me, it'll sound like it fits. Like,
that's what I was gonna say. It is an old school dirty hip hop album. Like, it's fantastic. It's great.
The production,
there's some slightly more modern beats and whatnot in there. Like, it's not
what
straight
he
like
needed.
But yeah, I mean, like, his rapping, his flow, everything it's just classic Nas. It's good.
Yeah, I think when people think like old, like real hip hop and things like that, I think they think of the sound of like Nas rapping. Like, honestly, that's at least what I think about. My favorite tracks on the album were definitely the opening song is amazing.
It's real good. That one hooked me immediately.
Right, you put that on. Even the album is so short that I had it on a loop. I was playing the album while I was just playing some random video game. And I heard the first song and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta put this down. I gotta listen to this shit real quick. And then as the tracks were playing, once I finished the album, the next song came on, which was the first song again. And I'm like, oh shit, what song? I'm like, oh man, it's the first song again. It just got my attention again. It's like, it's that good. And then of course, DJ Premier is my favorite producer. So I like that song. I wasn't too crazy about the hook and shit, but yeah, it was cool. It had I think, what was it, ASAP Rocky on the track though?
I think so. That sounds right.
So I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I really don't have much to say about it, just because it's like, to me it's just regular Nas shit. Like, I just don't, I enjoyed it. It was good. I don't have a lot of criticisms. I guess my only real criticism is like, it'd be nice for him to make a very different sound.
Yes.
And still be good. Right? Like, but I don't know. Then again, it's like, he does one thing, which is be Nas, and he does it really fucking well. It's like, yeah, fuck it. Like, it's been a staple my whole life.
I was surprised by the same thing as you, man. I didn't realize he was still putting out albums. I went and looked him up on Spotify. I was like, holy shit. He's still been making music.
A lot of people say
and those last two albums, King's Disease 1 and 2, they're good, man.
I also heard that those albums are really solid, and I'm gonna go take a look at them.
I'm trying to remember. Was it Nas that was part of the? Did Kanye produce King's Disease?
Something like that. One of those.
Yeah.
The one, you remember when Kanye came out with an album with Kid Cudi, and then he came out with
Kid See Ghost,
and then around that time he also did a Nas album.
Huh.
Yeah, where Nas, not Nas, but where Kanye was like producing all these. Oh no, King's Disease is kind of long. Maybe maybe it was Nas' year. I don't remember. Kanye had produced like a group of albums, and they were all like 7-track albums or whatever. They're all really short albums, but he had produced like 3 or 4 albums. It was like I think it was the Nas album, maybe Big Sean, and dude, oh my god, his name is like fucking erasing from my head.
I do appreciate albums that are like have
Pusha T
album, exactly.
Was it Closing Caskets or some shit? Crosses and Caskets, I think it was.
I don't remember. I don't pay attention that much. I just listen to the shit. I don't even look at the track list most of the time.
I do like when they do albums like 8 or 9, 10 songs max, because I feel like they're giving the best quality of music and not just trying to fill in a whole bunch of stupid shit, just to throw in. Because I mean, you're picking
100%. If a fucking album's more than 12 songs, I'm like, there's like 3 garbage songs on this album. All for real.
Who else has lasted in hip hop as long as Nas?
Hove,
Jay-Z, nobody longer. Like,
Eminem,
I mean, Kanye
I guess.
longer, I guess, but Jigga's dropped consistent shit. He helped other artists like Kanye West come out, like shit like that, like Rihanna, like all these people. Like, yeah, the dude has built like an empire out of his music. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Eminem, not as long as Nas, but I mean, what, like 5 years less? Like that's a long run.
I think Eminem's first album came out in '96. Is that right?
Yeah, you're right. 97, yeah, that time frame.
Yeah, because I guess Infinite was what an EP and LP. I forget what the difference is, but it was one of those. And then he did My Name Is or the Slim Shady LP or whatever the fuck it was. And the next year,
Those LP EP shits are for dicks. Like them shits is ridiculous. Just
it serves a purpose.
I don't know what that shit means. Actually, I don't know what purpose it serves.
It's
you got some knowledge.
Yeah. So it's back from when they used to make vinyls, and it's funny that Tony thinks EPs, LPs are for dicks. It's exactly what Tony wants. It's like, let's put out a small record. Like, so a record is one song, typically. Sometimes it'll have two on the other side, which is like maybe the instrumental or some type of remix will be on the other side. Then there's an EP, which would be like 4 songs. It's an extended play, so it's just a little longer than a record. And then there's an LP, which is a long play. It might have like 8 tracks on there. And then there's albums, which have, you know, maybe 10 or 12 tracks on there. Like, so like that's kind of how the naming thing goes. So I mean, I think it's awesome when people drop like a little project. Like, yo, here's 4 tracks. They're fucking crack. Like you're literally putting out the shit that you think is just fire.
And
like,
just to clarify,
I think that's incredible.
It's just the titles that I don't like. Like, fuck all these EP, LP. You don't just drop it. If it's 4 tracks, just drop it. That's it. I'm cool with it.
It's how you know what they're dropping.
Right. It's how you
like,
know. It's
when
you like to know if something's a mixtape. You like to know if something's an album.
Exactly.
Like, it's a way to differentiate. Like, hey, these are just like a teaser into what I'm about to drop later. Maybe these are going to be on my album. Maybe they're not going to be. And like, that's good to know.
Although I've had mixtapes be album quality and albums be mixtape quality. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but that should be happening. You're like, yo, this mixtape is like an album good. Like there's so much direction. It's just built so well. I could say like Big Crit, some of his first mixtapes. I was like, man, these are fucking albums, bro. These are like, there's so much going on here that I'm like into. But the song, my favorite song on this album is Hollywood Gangsta. And that right when I heard it, I was like, this sounds like Nas to me so much. Like just off of the first few seconds, his raps, that shit is a 10 out of 10 song. Fucking phenomenal. For me, that's where like the album started to apex. I was like, oh shit, this album is fucking fire. And then DJ Premier, one of my favorite producers. This guy's got to be like top 5 at the end of the day. Like, incredible person.
Is Nas woke now? He did that song with Lil Nas X, right?
I mean, that's awesome. I hope that he's opening doors for that type of inclusion.
But I don't remember if Nas was one of those rappers back in the day that had a lot of like homophobic shit in his songs or not, honestly.
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, I think he definitely had like I think everybody, man, it's just part of being in the hood and being of that era is that like you don't like drug addicts, you don't like gay people, you don't like all this stuff is bad. Like, and I mean, that sucks. Over time, these things are changing. Like you got artists like Lil Nas X that are popping and he's openly bisexual, I think, or maybe he's just gay.
He's gay.
Like, I think he's just gay.
Right. And so that's just fire. Like, and Nas, maybe it isn't. Maybe it is a woke thing. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. I know in general, Nas just loves black people, and he's all about like helping his brother and all of that type of shit. So like, it could come from a woke place. It could just come from like a, hey, we both got Nas in our name. Let's fucking make a track or something like that'd be cool or whatever. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Either way, it's good because it's just good for hip hop. Like it's good that people see, oh, Nas is collaborating with the gay kid that everybody's hating on. Like, and that's gonna open doors both for Lil Nas X and for other artists that maybe are also part of the LGBT community and need like that, you know, that people to be a little bit more open to collaborate with and stuff like that. Move hip hop away from this ultra homophobic place to just being more open, I think. But.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Did he ever say where how he came up about his name, Lil Nas X? Like, is it just
It's a troll. He was a Nicki Minaj stan account, and then he started to do his own art and his own shit. He's a very funny person. Before he became super famous, he would troll people. He's just really funny. And it's really just it was around the time XXX Tentacion, and so basically he just trolled a name, Lil Nas X. It's like you're taking the new, mixing a little of the old, and then adding an X at the end. You know what I mean?
that's funny?
That's funny.
Yeah, very creative though. He's a real creative kid, yo. Watching him explode into a star, one of my favorite things on Twitter. You'll see that shit on Twitter happen. People just start getting more popular, and then just pop into stardom.
Also, you don't really see as much as going back to Nas is that he started rapping and dropping what fucking music when he was like in like junior high.
I think it was 13.
Nas,
God
yeah.
damn.
Bro, like and he was spitting some raw shit. Man,
Fire.
like, his environment, that's what he was spitting like, and that to me shows like, damn, bro, like this man had a good penmanship back in the days, and he had like, he sees everything, right? I don't know, I never lived in New York, so obviously, you know, everyone has their own struggles and stuff, but man, was he in poetry? Like, was that helpful at all in school? I don't know if he was in poetry class or not, because the man can write from a young age, like. Shit was nasty. It's like he was given this, like he was born with this talent. You know what I mean? Like some people work for it, but 13 years old dropping some fire that you got adults like banging their heads to.
Yeah, I mean, Illmatic is quite possibly next to like the Jay-Z album and like maybe Biggie's album. I mean, they're all up there as like some of the best hip hop material out. Big L was a big influence on some of those sounds too. That Premiere and Gangstar like bled into there. Oh, he even does something on one of these tracks. He does that old school Jay-Z flow. Yeah, he does that. It was when he started doing that, I thought that was real cool.
And his Magic album?
Yeah.
What song
Yes,
was
on
that?
this Magic album. I forget, but if I listen to it again and I hear
You'll know right away.
Yeah, I'll know
It's
right
so
away.
not Nas's flow that it's
Yeah.
you're like, whoa. That and the hook on one of those songs sounded like a callback to Jigga using Nas's like what is it in Dead Presidents, right? Jigga uses a Nas from New York State of Mind. Wait, maybe I don't know. He uses I'm out for presidents to represent me, and that's like the beat in Dead Presidents. It's just like playing throughout the whole track. On a Jay-Z song, like he bought the sample or whatever. And on this, he didn't use a Jay-Z sample, but it sounded like he was trying to recreate a sound similar to that sample on one of the tracks. I can't remember what it was saying. But it was just something I was thinking about. I was like, oh man, it's like, okay, he used like the Jigga flow on this little part. Oh, this thing that he's like creating, it sounds like that sample. Like it sounds like he's trying to like, maybe not pay homage, but like kind of, you know, give a callback to that era or something, you know? I don't know. I thought it was dope.
That's wild.
I thought that was very cool.
Like it was funny too, because as soon as I heard it, I called Brian right away, Pucho's brother. I was like, yo, B, you got to go listen to this album. He's like, what album? I'm like, Nas album. He's like, oh, yeah, I was going to give it a try. This and that. I was like, bro, just go and listen to it. Hung up the phone or whatever. I texted him. I'm like, yo, there's two tracks that I automatically was just like, oh, this is. I think of Brian when I'm listening to this track, which was Woo for the Children and Wave Gods. I don't know why. Those two tracks just put me to where I just think of Brian, because how Brian's mannerisms and how he is. Like, you know, Brian loves the kids like Trick Daddy. He loves the kids, you know what I mean? So with the people and shit. So I immediately called him and told him to go listen to it. He calls me back. He's like, yo, Tone. Like, what happened? Nas wrote this for me, nigga. I was like, oh shit, I'm glad you liked it, because that's why, like, I heard it and I thought of you. He was like, nah, nigga. That nigga wrote that shit for me. I'm like, damn, so you like the album? Yeah, I like this. Yeah, I like it. He didn't call it a classic. A lot of people are quick to drop these classic lines, which
You
is,
can't drop it that quick.
yeah. Even though it's Nas, like maybe he gets like an automatic classic fucking thing, but nah, you gotta let shit rest for a little bit.
The shit is OD to me because like E's favorite rapper is Nas. And he be hating every fucking thing Nas drops. I'm like, I don't get that shit. Like we sit down and listen to a Nas album, he'd be like, it was alright. I'm like, yo, this shit is amazing. Like it's like he's so critical on Nas, it's crazy. But he'll always say, yeah, this is my all-time favorite rapper. And then yeah, my brother fucking loves Nas. Like we grew up like Nas is like one of my brother's like first like I don't know. As a kid, you know, you look up to these people, right? Like we all got the Nas haircut, you know, with the fade back in the day, with the fucking part, all that shit. Like you know, we love Nas like growing up. So yeah, Brian, even the way you framed the story, like you called Brian and convinced him to listen to the Nas album. It's like Brian's listening to the album no matter what. Like that's happening. Like,
he was gonna listen to it, but the way he sounded like, oh yeah, like I'll listen to it later or what. I was like, no, just stop what you're doing and just listen to it. And boom, like yeah, I wasn't trying to say like I had to convince him to give it a try. Like nah, Brian listens to fucking music. Like we have arguments all the time. Not arguments, discussions at his house when we all chill together. It's like just like the other day we was chilling. Pucha wanted to be a dick and troll me. He was like, yeah, Tony don't even. It was, bro, I was getting mad because these Brian and E are there and these niggas is believing Pucho. And I'm just like, at this point, I'm like, I don't care no more. Yes, I agree with everything Pucho's saying. Like, Pucho, I forgot what one of them was.
It's just that my brother and E are so gullible. Like, you could say anything, and it's not that they would believe it, but they would consider it. Like, and so I'll be like, yo. The first album Tony ever listened to was like a Trick Daddy album or something. I just I was just making up fun facts. I was like, I'm like, yo, Tony has never listened to a Nas album or something. I'll just say shit like that in the middle of us talking about hip hop, and they'll be like, word, like they're questioning it, and it's like, and I was just coming up with the most outrageous stuff, like. Like the only rapper Tony listened to till the mid 2000s was Big Pun or something. Like I was just making shit like that.
He was like, Tony didn't even know Big Pun was Puerto Rican.
Yeah, he used to think Big Pun was Cuban or something. I said some shit like, yeah, what the fuck?
Then he drops another one. He was like, yeah, he doesn't even know the color of his own Mexican flag. He was mixing the Italian flag with Mexico.
Yeah, I said, yo, Tony used to fly the Cuban flag, but tell people he was Puerto Rican. That's what I said. And they were like, what the fuck is wrong with this?
Yeah,
I'm like, I was just saying random shit, but they'll consider anything.
Yeah, and then I'm looking at them like, bro. The man, you know what? Yeah, he's right. And then Brian would be like, yo, Tone, he'll chat me. He'd be like, yo, Tone, you serious, my nigga? I'm like, yo, Brian, he's talking shit. And then meanwhile, another fun fact from Pucho. It's like, bro, fuck out of here.
That's what was getting Tony tight, was that I was pumping him out so quick, he couldn't defend anything.
I couldn't.
He'd be like, I'll say one thing, then Tony's like, nah. And I'd be like, yo, this motherfucker. And I'll just make up the next thing. And he's like, oh. Whatever, everything Pucho says is true. Like he just got tagged.
Yeah, I couldn't stop it. It was a barrage of attacks. I was like,
it's because you attacked me first, and I don't remember what it was, but I match energies. Okay, that's how I live my life. You're gonna be an asshole to me, I'm gonna be an asshole. But I'm a bigger asshole. Maybe I escalate. Maybe I'm mad. I take your energy and I escalate from there. That's what I do.
Yeah, he doesn't have a zero negative energy starting point. He just starts if you're at 10, he's at a 15 now, and he's gonna just keep going up to the roof. Like, fuck out of here. These lies. I don't know the Mexican flag. I was flying Cuban flags. Like, what the fuck? These niggas is believing, they're chewing this shit up. I'm just like, I can't even defend, because the moment I defend, he's hitting me with another barrage, and then they stop talking about it and move to the next barrage. It's like, can we finish one attack and then move to the next attack? Like, but nah, yeah, fucking Nas definitely. Also, when he did drop the album, he also commented that A King Disease 3 is also going to be dropping. Did you guys hear that?
No.
That's what he said. I googled it. And supposedly he's dropping a KD3. and I guess Hit Boy's on that too. But yeah, Wave Gods, Ooh the Children are like one of my favorites, and for some reason, to Meet Joe Black, very I don't know what it was, but it maybe the sound waves or something. It's just like you listen to it. You know how you listen to an album and then it kind of makes you do like a double take, like wait, what is this? And then you have to look at the track name or whatever, the track like whatever, and then go back to it and just replay it just to hear it. That definitely did it because it just felt like that shit came from like I don't think it was for the album, but they just put it in from another list of music that he probably made. I don't know. It was weird, but good. And I don't know. I like it. I also don't get this whole writer shit. Like right here it says all tracks written by Jones and Chauncey Hollis, which is Hit Boy. And but when they say writing, does they mean like they're writing the lyrics, or it's just like the
Yeah, that should be the lyrics.
I think there's this new thing in hip hop where they're trying to give producers more props, and they're putting them in like the byline. Like, no way did Hit Boy sit there and write Nas's bars. Like,
yeah.
He might have helped with a chorus or something too.
That's
like,
what I'm saying. That happens a lot in like just the nuances in producing. You go back and forth. You're in the booth there. You pump in him. He's like, yo, put me in. It's a lot of little nuances. And they'll be like, yo, why don't you say this? Try to say this and see how it sounds and stuff like that. And like very small things get put in and you get credit for that. Like sometimes you will get credited for writing.
Okay. Calling producers. I think we're so used to films where producers just like
front the money.
The guy who fronts the money and maybe helps out with some logistical things. Like I feel like producers are more like directors. Like your writer writes his script and then he goes in there and he performs it. Right? He's like the writer and the actor. But then the producers oftentimes telling you, oh, switch this up, switch that up. Oh, we should make ad-libs here, like things like that, where the artist maybe isn't thinking all the way through for the whole sound of the track. Like he's just trying to get his paper in a track, like what he got, right? And so oftentimes the producers help so much with that regard that make some of these tracks sound way better than they would have otherwise. And then they don't really get like the level of recognition. So a lot of times you'll see like featuring a producer and the producer don't say a single song, a word on the song. And you're like, what does that mean? That it featured fucking such and such. Like
the only reason why I like any of those Lil Dicky songs from Dave is because his production is so fucking good.
That's a fact.
His beats are good. He's got like just everything is well done in the track except for maybe the lyrics. The lyrics are the weakest part of that shit.
When he gets out of that little wall. What happened?
I was gonna say, you said that Lil Dicky has the best like lyrics, like he's a lyricist. That's what you said.
No, I said that I don't like Dicky's music in real life, but I really like the music on the show. There's like I don't know what is the difference in producing there, but he needs to stick to that type of music that he does on the show. And I think he'll do very well. I go to YouTube and try to watch his music videos, and I'm like, oh, this is not for me. But I could watch, the stuff on his show. Real quick before we wrap this up, I want to get two things. A 1 through 10 review rating on the album, and then like talk about what, sound. What do you give the sound of the album? Was the sound good? Lyrics, stuff like that. Wrapping it up so we can have some sort of like where we're at with the album. I'll go first. Lyrics, I think this album, he's a strong lyricist, so I'm putting him up at like an 8. I'm like, this is a very lyrical album, maybe a little too lyrical in some respects. Maybe I'm like, yo, you need to tone it down in a little bit. Like 4016 Building, I skip that song every single time. I'm like, oh, this is not for me. Other than that, like I think he's very strong lyricist. He knows how to put words together. He's these new beats, these fresher beats sound good on him. And I think this is like a very strong offering. I'm giving it like an 8, the album, for lyricism. I think the beats as well, I'd give it like an 8. It's not perfect, but it's really.
So overall,
if
you
he
giving
consi-
overall
I'm
you
gonna
giving
give
it an
the
8.
album an 8. Yeah, I'm gonna give the album an 8, a strong 8. I think there's 2 throwaway tracks, 2 tracks that I'm like that don't really work for me. But other than that, I could pretty much listen to this album through.
What about you, Mateo?
We'll do an 8. My only complaint is exactly what Pucho said. I wish that it'd be cool to hear Nas try a new sound or something, just mix it up a little bit. But it's old school hip hop. It sounds good as hell. Put it with any of his other albums, honestly.
All right, Pooch. Same as
I
Mateo.
mean, I give him like an 8.5. I loved it. I listened to it front to back 2 times. I won't skip any songs. I liked it. Again, what Mateo said, I say it again. I'd like if he could just find a new sound that like I find that like artists like Jay-Z, Kanye, they change their sound significantly, and they're still, and then to their detriment, in my opinion. Well, not to Kanye's, but like I don't like Jigga's new stuff as much. Like I'm still stuck in I'm 90s, early 2000s Hove. Like that's my era. I don't listen to his new music, even though he's my favorite artist, right? It would be nice if Nas could like step out of his comfort, do something different, and it still be cool. But this is like run of the mill Nas shit. It's not nothing to write home about, but it's good. Like I like it.
Yeah, I guess I'm in between with all of you guys as well. I do not skip any tracks. I can listen to it all the way through, no problem. Beat and all that's great. Me overall, I'll give that like a almost a 9, like an 8.8 or some shit. Like, cause it's like it could be a 10, but like also what Pujo said, like maybe if you would have jumped out a little bit more into a new realm. But also I like that it's old school Nas. I like that Nas. Facts. You know what I mean? That's what we got. Like all this new shit, yeah, I like it too, but you can't go wrong with a classic Nas. You know what I mean? Like, it's just shit lasts forever. But yeah, shout out to the album. Like it. The album cover picture shit, weird. I don't know how that goes in correlation with Magic, but anyway, I like it.